Hi, my name's Tom Dolder, and I've brought a Sammic 306T with us this time. The 306T features a 6-meter pump in it, so it's a little less expensive than its bigger brother, the 310. But it does run, the T stands for a timed cycle. So your control panel here is a little bit different. The control panel is very easy to understand. If this light is lit up, that's the vacuum. It's how much air is coming out of the chamber. And you can adjust it by seconds, either up or down, while that light's on. If you're interested in the heat time, move over and push up the arrows that come together, and you can move the heat time up or down as you see fit, and depending on what kind of bags that you're actually heat sealing. And this machine also does have a soft air feature, so it will let the air back into the chamber in bursts, which tends to lay the plastic onto the bag more softly and more fluently, so you don't distort your product if you're using the soft air. You can turn that on or off with this feature. So it also has a control here which will allow you to turn the pump on independently of pushing the lid down. So that means when you want to do things like jars or run canisters with this machine, you lift this plate out of the way, and that gives you access to this port in the back. And when you want to turn on the pump, in this case, this button here is the one that will turn on the pump. We can set you up with what I like to call an udder sucker because it fits a whole bunch of different styles of machines. We can adapt the other end of the udder sucker to a jar sealer attachment, and you can do the same thing at home. If you have a jar sealer from a previous vacuum packer, just go ahead and use it. We're going to show you how to do a jar here real quickly. This one is a set of peas that we did out of a frozen bag of peas. This is a really kind of a fun project. You just buy a frozen bag of peas, put it on your dehydrator, put it into a jar. Now it's interesting to note that when you start this pump, the timer is disconnected. So this pump will essentially run until you tell it not to. So if you have a number of jars that you want to do, place the udder sucker in the back, and the suction in the pump will actually hold that piece in place. Activate or just plug it into the jar, and then watch your gauge here. When it gets most of the way around there, I like to do like 90 or 85%. That'll give you plenty of vacuum in the jar. And then this device will continue to run, so if you wanted to do another jar, you just keep going with them until you get done doing all your jars. Turn the pump off, everything will relax. So jars are very, very simple on a Sammic 306T. The plates come in and out very easily, and again, the Sammic has designed so that you can get different levels in the chamber with the same plate. You stand it up on its feet, remove it all together, and you still have that food-shaped chamber, so it has a dish in the bottom of it, so it gives you an extra inch when you're doing something round or large like a roast or a ham. The 306Ts, I forget which machine I'm talking about here once in a while. The 306Ts do come with a retort ready seal bar in them, so you can do retort pouches in this machine. The timed cycles are, in my mind, in some ways a little bit better at higher altitudes than the sensor cycles. They just require a little bit less adjustment, and the timers run the pump for a specific length of time. And of course, you can do the same on-off kind of controls with this. So if you are running a bag and you want to stop the cycle and seal the bag, if you have a bag laying across your heat seal bar, when you stop the cycle on here, it actually does seal the bag for you. So if you're doing something that's fairly delicate, you can watch the gauge, and when it gets to the point where you don't want to crush something, then just turn the machine off. That will step into the heat cycle and seal it, and then let air back into the chamber. Now we haven't had the soft air feature on for any of these, but that will seal the bag. And if you want to run the soft air, hit the soft air button, close the lid, and then just let the cycle time run for as long as you want. when you've achieved the proper vacuum to where you like it, then what you want to do is just turn the machine off. And the soft air then will let the air back in more of a burst kind of fashion. And it goes on and off and then lets all the air back in to where the lid opens up.